Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Samta Dojayat Pudraved Shrimatasva Kritha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Vidyan Pasthoya Bhadrani Vidamati Surshita Nasta Presha Padrashunitям Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamashlakya Bhakti Bhavati Nishtake. We will be reading today Canto 4, Chapter 3, Text 5, 7, and 8. Text 5, 7. Had upashritya napasi ke charanam prajalpatam sati dakshayan devi pitriyajna mahotsavam vrajanti sarvato jita upadeva varasya vimana yana sapishta nishka kanti suvasaha drishtva svanvaya bhashem lolakshir mrishta kundala patim huta patim devam outside sata. That then upashritya hearing Navasi in the sky, Charanam of those who were flying in the air, the Gandharvas, Prajalpatam, the conversation, Sati, Dakshayani, the daughter of Daksha, Devi, the wife of Shiva, Pitriyajna Mahotsavam, the great festival of sacrifice performed by her father, Rajanti were going, Sarvata from all, it had directions, Upadeva Varasya, the beautiful wives of the demigods, Vimana, Yana, flying in the airplanes, Sabristha along with their husband, Nishka Kanti, having nice necklaces with lockets, Suvasahan, dressed in fine clothing, Drishtva Singh, Svan Abhasya, near Horadant, and Lakshmi, having beautiful glittering eyes, Marishta Kundala, nice earrings, Patim, husband, Puttapatim, the master of the Puttas, Deva, demigod, outside from great anxiety. Parashita, she spoke. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Siddhanta Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The chaste lady Sati, the daughter of Daksha, heard the heavenly denizens flying in the sky, conversing about the great sacrifice being performed by her father. When she saw that from all directions the beautiful wives of the heavenly denizens, their eyes were beautiful glittering, were near her residence, and were going to the sacrifice dressed in fine clothing and ornamented with earrings and necklaces with lockets, she approached her husband, the master of the Puttas, in great anxiety, and spoke as follows. Purport. It appears that the residence of Lord Shiva was not on this planet, but somewhere in outer space. Otherwise, how could Sati have seen the airplanes coming from different directions toward this planet and heard the passengers talking about the great sacrifice being performed by Daksha? Sati is described here as Dakshayani because she was the daughter of Daksha. The mention of Upadeva Vara refers to inferior demigods like the Gandharvas, Kinnaras, and Uragas, who are not exactly demigods, but between the demigods and human beings. They were also coming in planes. The word Svam Nilaya Yasha indicates that they were passing right near her residential quarters. The dresses and bodily features of the wives of the heavenly denizens and are very nicely described here. Their eyes moved, their earrings and other ornaments glittered and glared. Their dresses were the nicest possible, and all of them had special lockets on their necklaces. Each woman was accompanied by her husband. Thus, they looked so beautiful that Sati Dakshayani was impelled to dress similarly and go to the sacrifice with her husband. That is the natural inclination of a woman. Text 8. Satyavacha, Prajapatisthi Svashurasya Sampritam Niryapito Yajna Mahotsavatra Vayam Cha Tadrabhi Sharamam Vamati Yadzi Artitani Vibudha Vrajanti. Satyavacha Sati said, Prajapati of Daksha, take yours, Svashurasya, of your father-in-law, Sampritam, nowadays, Niryapita, has been started, Yagna Maha Utsava, a great sacrifice, Kila certainly, Vayam, we, Cha and Tatra there, Abhisarama, may go, Vama, O my dear Lord Shiva, Teyo, Yadi if, Artita desire, Ani this, we Buddha, demigods, Rajanti are going because. Translation. Sati said, my dear Lord Shiva, your father-in-law is now executing great sacrifices, and all the demigods having been invited by him are going there. If you desire, we may also go. Purport. Sati knew of the tension between her father and her husband. But still, she expressed to her husband, Lord Shiva, that since such sacrifices were going on at her father's house, and so many demigods were going, she also desired to go. But she could not express her willingness directly, and so she told her husband that if he desired to go, then he could also accompany him, that she could also accompany him. In other words, she submitted her desire very politely to her husband. Om Gyanadhimirandasya Vinanjana Svakaya Chakshuranitamina Tasmai Shrikravanamaha Namo Krishna Padaya Krishna 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 Matsavatsagan Swami Nitani Namaste Saraswati Devi Guruvani Pracharani Vishwashima Zaprachdeshtapi Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Radhika Krishna Sadi Guru Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram. I humbly bow down and seek blessings from all the assembled Vaishnavas, and thank you for the opportunity to read Srimad Bhagavatam from my own purification. I've selected a few points to summarize from lectures from Parampara. Right now we are reading Canto 4, Chapter 3, which is called Talks Between Lord Shiva and Sati. In text 5.7 we read that chaste lady Sati heard demigods talking about great sacrifice being performed by her father. When she saw them nicely dressed from all directions coming to the event, passing by near her residential quarters, she had natural inclination to dress nicely and go with her husband to this event. We are reading about the importance of culture going for a ceremony that Daksha is performing. We see that everybody is coming there properly dressed, with nice proper mood, because that culture is being followed. The point here was that Lord Shiva wasn't invited because of the pride of Daksha. Daksha thought that he is superior than Lord Shiva. Daksha executing great sacrifice was a religious performance. Some people say religion is cause of problems. Actually, misunderstanding of religion can't cause problems. Some people say there should be no religion because of misapplication of religion. When we think of religious act, we think of something pure. At the sacrifice, demigods come to accept their shares of what is being offered. When we talk about this event and consequences, main blame goes to Daksha because of his attitude. Sati wants to go to as a social occasion. All the demigods are not interested in what is actually the essence of religion. Sacrificial performances were more of the social events for them. For Daksha, it was a matter of prestige. He felt embarrassed by his son-in-law. All demigods are going all dressed up in their best clothes. We can imagine demigods' best clothes. To show off nice clothes, showing off beautiful wife with nice ornaments at the event increases your prestige. This is material life. Human civilization means having beautiful women and athletic and well-built, skillful men with many expertise. Daksha was a great expert in opulence and produced children. They didn't think what was the real purpose of religious act. Daksha was thinking, if Shiva comes, we all dress nicely, and he comes just like a naked beggar, covered in ashes with snakes on his body. Daksha thinks that his son-in-law was just as embarrassment. Lord Shiva was not disturbed by not being invited. He was not interested in this event at all. He is satisfied sitting under a tree without even a house. He could create any number of beautiful palaces, his wife being material energy herself. He could get any amount of opulence, but he was simply not interested, and he was not particularly interested in the company of demigods. He is on a different platform. He is a pure devotee of Krishna. He is simply interested in Krishna, or particularly Sankarshan. He is meditating on Sankarshan. Daksha felt serious envy towards Lord Shiva in Sati's attitude also. She was thinking, if we go, it will be nice. Her attitude is to enjoy this performance all together with family and friends. The seed of disaster is there in everyone's attitude, not only Daksha. That's why we say fire of material existence is extinguished by the cloud of Krishna's mercy, which comes in the form of a spiritual master. Forest fire cannot be put out by forest brigade, and no one can say how it comes. Everyone thinks it is by chance, by rubbing bamboos together. If we try to find the cause, what is the ultimate cause, it is so complex. In law, if something wrong is done, that means someone should be punished for a wrong deed. But actually everyone is guilty, just like Srila Prabhupada often told the story of a man who performed the crime and claimed that he was crazy. And Srila Prabhupada was saying, yes, he is crazy, but also everyone is crazy. At the same way, the judge is sitting to judge when everyone is guilty. Everyone is guilty in being envious to Krishna. Some people express that envy in a manner which requires punishment by law, and others express it in a way which may not be punished by law, like good pious people, like demigods, but they are punished by repeated birth and death. They are punished, for instance, by going to heavenly planets. For some people, it is called reward, but it's also a punishment because it increases the term of forgetting Krishna. Whole material world is a prison. Some people think they're getting rewarded, but what is that reward in prison? A transfer from an ordinary cell to an air-conditioned cell. It might seem very good. The root cause of Daksha Yagya, the main cause, is Daksha's envy. Some politicians nowadays sometimes says it's dangerous situations in some parts of the world. Some places have war. We don't have to be astrologer or political analyst to say that the war must be because people are envious of each other in whole history. If one studies the history of the world, especially how they teach nowadays, thousands of years, as soon as they call something civilization, there is a war. Whole history is going from one war to another war. Somebody tries to get domination over someone else, and then he gets thrown out. Egypt, Greece, other countries were powerful at some point. Now they are not. This is material life. Better to avoid Daksha Yagya, better not to get involved. Devotees should avoid the events in Maya, in illusion, and concentrate on the essence. To get to the essence, we may have to go through many difficulties. To reach the essence, we may go through many thorns. It is required to get free from material desires, from material entitlement. But the essence, to find Krishna, that we should keep in mind. It is very useful to read Bhagavatam with Srila Prabhupada's purport, because if we go through all Daksha Yagyas, we might forget where is Krishna. Srila Prabhupada keeps us focused on Krishna. Everything should lead to Krishna. We should think only how can we serve Krishna. We should not think what's good for me, calculate what should I do, this or that. Even in devotional service, how to make the situation better for me. Not understanding that if we simply fully surrender ourselves in Krishna's service, our self-interest is fully served by that, even if it may not appear that. What is the essence of spiritual life? chanting or living in a dham, you can chant for your pleasure also. That chanting will not help us very much. We need to be careful. The essence is unmotivated desire to serve Krishna, and we should strive for that. I will stop here today. I apologize for any shortcomings during reading and summarizing. Vanchakalpadrubhyascha, Prasimhabhya Avacha Patidamam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavi Pranamanaha. Thank you, Hare Krishna.